Hello, my name is Randolph. Today I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm here to read this book, The Daily Reflections for October 14th, 2025. It's called A Program for Living. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. That's from Alcoholics Anonymous, page 86. I lacked serenity. With more to do than seemed possible, I fell further behind no matter how hard I tried. Worries about things not done yesterday and fear of tomorrow's deadlines denied me the calm I needed to be effective each day. Before taking steps 10 and 11, I began to read passages like the one cited above. I tried to focus on God's will, not my problems, and to trust that He would manage my day. It worked. Slowly, but it worked! Exclamation point at the end of the reading. So I want to look at this part up here where it says a program for living, and then it finishes with our thinking should be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. And yesterday's reading from this book was called Unremitting. I'm having trouble with that word. Unremitting inventories, and there's 4 items in this that we continue to watch for: selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. Look out for those things. And then in yesterday's reading I brought up that in the Little Red Book, I'd made a note to myself from the Little Red Book at the end of steps 8 and 9, it says we're trying to put our lives in order. We do this through maximum service to God and the people about us. We believe this is the purpose of steps 8 and 9. And then I wrote down the 4 things: selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear are serious threats to our sobriety. Step 10 that we're doing today says continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. And then in the Little Red Book, step 10 opens this way. Step 10 is one of the maintenance steps. Its purpose is to remind us that moral defects, selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear are still problems we will encounter daily. These defects remain serious threats to our sobriety. AA suggests a daily inventory to disclose our harmful thoughts and actions. Admitting mistakes is indispensable to our inventory and sobriety. Okay. So, when we retire, today's reading, Program for Living. And keep in mind, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day. And then on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. Yesterday's title was called Unremitting Inventories. And that's the 13th day of the month. The 14th day of the month, almost halfway through the month, in my estimation. It's called A Program for Living. Now, I'm thinking this is helping me along in my theory, or this is more evidence in my theory, my recent new theory of how this book is put together, that the first week, each month there's like 4 weeks. The first week is a raw introduction to whatever the step is. So it's the 10th month. Step 10, I read that. Continue to take a inventory, and when we're wrong, promptly admitted it. the first 7 days of the month, the first week, is like an introduction to that. Consisting of, for this month, starting at day 1, October 1st, lest we become complacent, and then up until day 7, the acid test, serenity after the storm, unnecessary pruning, yesterday's baggage, facing ourselves, and daily monitoring on October 7th. So roughly speaking, I think those are the things we need to be doing. And how we do those would be in the second week, which we're just about over with here. And that would be a daily inventory, the spiritual axiom, fixing me, not you, self-restraint, curbing rashness, unremitting inventories. And then today, it's a program for living. Now, I suspect, if my theory is anywhere near correct, is that in the third week of the month, this month, the 10th month, a way that we can check our results if we've been doing the first 2 weeks of suggestions in a beneficial way, we're going to start to see these upcoming results. Starting with my checklist, not yours, throughout each day, a daily tune-up, an open mind, AA's main tap root, solace for confusion, and nothing grows in the dark on October 21st. So that's what I wanted you to keep in mind. Now, to finish this point here, we got these 4 things that are a serious threat to our sobriety that we can discover by doing these unremitting inventories, a daily inventory. Should you do a daily inventory once a day, twice a day, 100 times a day? Well, this is suggesting that when we retire at night, we constructively review our day, and then on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. So that would, maybe we should be doing an inventory twice a day. That's creeping towards unremitting, I think. I'm not certain on what unremitting means. Having a problem with my hearing today. I lack serenity. With more to do than seemed possible, I fell further behind, no matter how hard I tried. Worries about things not done yesterday and fear of tomorrow's deadlines denied me the calm I needed to be effective each day. If you recall, in October 12th reading, curbing rashness, let me see. Being fair-minded and tolerant is a goal toward which I must work daily. I ask God, as I understand Him, to help me to be loving and tolerant to my loved ones and to those whom I am in close contact. I ask for guidance to curb my speech when I am agitated, and I take a moment to reflect on the emotional upheaval my words may cause, not only to someone else, but to myself. Prayer, meditation, and inventories are the key to sound thinking and positive action for me. And that day, when I read that, that was rubbing me the wrong way, kind of, and I thought, that must be nice that you can have such wonderful things in your life. It hardly seems possible. Now, today's reading, a program for living. I lacked serenity. That kind of goes with it goes to something somewhere that I am not aware of right this second. I lack serenity. With more to do than seemed possible, I fell further behind, no matter how hard I tried. Worries about things not done yesterday and fear of tomorrow's deadlines denied me the calm I needed to be effective today. I looked this thing up again today, that if you go to Reddit, you can discover this thing. Today on my computer, it's the first thing that comes up when I ask Reddit 85% it doesn't happen study. Because I mentioned this thing that I had read years ago, and it wasn't on Reddit, because Reddit wasn't even a thing at the time, about we worry about things and it's just not effective. It's 85% of what we worry about never comes to pass. And then you can get even more tight with the data and say something like, let me put it this way. Partially why 85% of the stuff that we worry about doesn't happen is because of the way that most humans worry, and we just cherry pick all the worst case things, and that's called worry. That's one definition of worry. Meditation's also worry. It's just picking something and sending it up through the playing system up here, and it just plays it over and over. That's worry. That's meditation in a way. Okay, so meditate on positive things. Worry about the good stuff happening. You'll just feel better, and that's one reason. Anyhow, I lack serenity with more to do than seemed possible. I fell further behind no matter how hard I tried. Worries about things not done yesterday and fear of tomorrow's deadlines denied me the calm I needed to be effective each day. So I guess I'm trying to say stop worrying. I don't think that's possible. While you're worrying, keep in mind that only 85% of the time might that even come close to happening. And I don't know if I should use the word typically, historically, traditionally. Most frequently would probably be a better way of putting it. More frequently, the thing that we're hoping will go well does go well, but it goes well in a way that we couldn't predict and that we did not predict. We got dragged down into the negativity part of things, and that's a thing, and that's where this study stepped in. And this guy, I forget who it was, but just look it up. Study about 85% of the stuff we worry about is not going to happen. Or on Reddit, what I put in, or in Google search box, Reddit 85% it doesn't happen study is what I put in, and it just tells you all kinds of good anyways. It's good to worry, though. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism. We drag it all out of context these days in the 21st century. Well, maybe they got AI on our heels, going to wipe out humanity maybe on some day. It could happen. What are the chances? I don't know. My imagination wants to think it's going to happen today. And then, all that kind of fear-mongering up here. I don't know why. That study might kind of explore that. Anyways, where are we at? 13 minutes. Self-pity, dishonesty, self-seeking motives. If we can curb... Remember the other day, just October 12th, curbing rashness. And I looked up rashness, and I forget exactly what it means. I think it means acting without caution, or without suitable data, with scant amounts of evidence, with nary a clue. It's like panic. So we just react rashly. And it says here, when we speak or act hastily or rashly, the ability to be fair-minded and tolerant evaporates on the spot. Now, I'm going to suggest that within today's title, a program for living. If we did an inventory yesterday, and came up with some things and maybe even wrote them down, might be a good idea for your own review in the morning. It's like, boy, I was really cross with that person today. I wish I hadn't done it, but I did. Say, maybe today I can, maybe tomorrow I can try and smooth that over. So then you sleep, you wake up, it's now tomorrow, and you look down and you see on a little list of paper, maybe I should go apologize to this person. I was short, curt, rash, brash, rude to, rash. So, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. I think this is kind of touching on this unremitting inventory thing that was at the ending of how do we do this daily inventory, and then how can we ever admit that we're wrong, is what I'm suggesting we're getting to here. And more reasons to do the inventory. And to admit you're wrong. It might further a solution in this area that lacking serenity, it seems that there's more to do than I can ever get done. I worry about all that stuff I didn't get done yesterday and I can't even focus on today. Blow that up to a whole lifetime of drinking, say, or a decade's worth or 2 or 3 decades worth of drinking, and then you come out of that and you're trying to get sober, and you finally get to this 10th step, and it's like, oh my God, another list. What? I'm tired of the list, man. I got a list from step 4, I got a list from step 8, and now you want me to make a new list in step 10. It's like, yes, we do. But essentially, here's some good news. Probably a lot of stuff in that list comes from this right here. Self-pity, dishonesty, self-seeking, or, I think this is almost the same. These 4 things that are a threat to our sobriety. Selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. That's not so all-encompassing. Well, you can make a dent in that. You might have some overwhelming. Here, what did this guy say? I lack serenity. With more to do than seemed possible, I fell further behind, no matter how hard I tried. Well, are you certain you're falling behind? Because a lot of people never even do any kind of review of their behavior ever. And they just go through life like an absolute tornado or hurricane, depending where you live. And then they just blame everybody else and wonder how come they can't find any serenity anywhere. And it's like, if they really looked at stuff, they might find that themselves, they're the ones that's the common denominator in all this ruckus in their life. I used to be this way, and I'm like, how come these people are so stupid? I'll just narrow it way down to just some ugly point of contention right here. And how can these people be so dumb and still breathe? I don't want to deal with these people. Everywhere in life, wherever they were. Fellow employees, people I worked under, people I had working under me, people I'd run into, well, not physically, but people I would become acquainted acquainted with. I don't know. Just meeting people, it's stupid, 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 stupid. And I'm like, wait a minute. Taking a page from somewhere out of here, that's facing ourselves, I think it's called. That person's reflecting me. I'm the stupid one. If I'm the common denominator, and I can fix me, that's some good news. I can do an inventory and find out, wait, that was stupid. I did this stupid thing. Stupid again. Me stupid. Stupid me. Right? It's like 5 pieces. And that's coming out of like 4 things. Self-pity, dishonesty, self-seeking, etc. I think we're just about done here for today. A program of living. Now think about this, just lightly. Don't become compulsive about it. But tomorrow, my checklist, not yours. That might start to explain today's thing, a program for living that comes from these unremitting inventories to hopefully gain some serenity to be able to focus on the important things we really need to do today that we actually have some kind of influence with. Because tomorrow isn't here yet. Yesterday is already gone. We have today to deal with. That's why there's books like this, 24 hours a day. And why there's slogans like, keep it simple, first things first. I can't think of another one right now. I'm not going to tax the brain on that because I'll run out of time. So thank you for coming here. We'll get back with you later. Goodbye.